Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Guess what? Today is 306 degree. Yeah. Wow. I look forward to Wednesdays every week because I get an opportunity to have my guest co-host, Dr. Michael Mantell here. And also, we always have an absolutely wonderful guest that's going to bring insight, knowledge, and understanding into our worlds. So I'm excited about today's show. And Dr. Mike, how have you been?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you and Michelle are both doing well. Look at this. Look at this beautiful world we live in here. Today, we're going to be talking about this very atmosphere we're in, the environment we're in. I thought it's best to be sitting outside in the beautiful daylight of our environment, the healthy environment that we live in.
It is. It's a healthy environment, and you in sunny California right now. So Michelle and
Yes,
I
I am.
are in
I'm
Texas,
pleased.
and it's normally it's nice, but today it's
It's
been
wind.
raining pretty hard, windy, and etc.
Well,
But
it's showing us the wide variety of what nature is. Rain, beautiful sun, and we're going to have a guest who's going to tell us how to enjoy rain and sun, and all that for our own health.
But Dr. Mike, we can't even get the show started unless our executive producer introduce the show, title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this great guest that we got on. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I love the background, Dr. Mantell. It's very
Yeah,
sunny. It's pretty. I
beautiful today here. Yeah.
well, yeah, but we're just really excited about our guests today. And I think it's the first time we've had a conversation like this particular topic. So we're definitely feeling really excited about it. And we welcome her to our show, but we're just ready just to get to it.
Yeah, we're having problems on some of our networks right now. I see that YouTube is not working right, and that's
Oh,
that's about 50,000.
that's
But
not
that's
good.
okay.
Yeah.
We're
YouTube in
hoping.
general, YouTube in general.
We're,
So
we're
that's
hoping that they get this right because we want to really showcase this young lady that's coming on the show today. So, Michelle, can you do the pledges and introduce the purpose of the show, title of the show, purpose, and introduce this absolutely wonderful guest?
almost definitely. So it's 360-degree health day, and the topic is nurture care outdoors. Feeling burned out? Get your brain on nature. And we're having a sit-down conversation. Actually, Dr. James J.C. Cooley and our guest co-host, Dr. Michael Mantell, they're having a sit-down discussion with Monica Eastway. She's an gerontologist, educator, changemaker. She's going to be discussing environmental gerontology and nature's role in harmonious longevity. Take 10 for vitamin N in your brain on nature, challenges of access and sharing care outdoors. So again, Monica Eastway, she's empowering individuals and communities to harness the full health potential of their surroundings. She is an environmental gerontologist dedicating to enhancing quality of life for people of all ages. She works with individuals, health professionals, carers, and communities to co-create and utilize supportive, accessible, and multifunctional green spaces. With a focus on nature-inspired education, she is dedicated to providing fun and engaging opportunities to benefit both people and planet, greening care from soil to soul. Please welcome to the show, Miss Monica Eastway.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Michelle Cooley. That was just amazing. I'm so honored to be here. And thank you, Dr. Mantell, for sitting outdoors because it's just so lovely to see. And I see this beautiful outdoor space that you have. So bravo.
So,
Monica,
so
we are so delighted to have you. Your energy just comes through the screen. It's fabulous.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And your background comes through too, which is, just fabulous as well. And back to, I was talking, you were sharing a little bit where you are, Dr. Cooley's, it's raining outdoors. Is that what you said? It's a little
Yeah,
rainy.
we're in Dallas,
Yeah.
Texas right now,
Yeah.
so it's kind of raining here.
Yeah, what I
Uh,
call that when it's raining outdoors a little bit, just enjoy 10 for vitamin N, even just a little bit outdoors and put your face up. And I call that nature spa, right? That fresh rain coming in, you're soaking in your skin, the pores, nature
You
spa,
see,
fog,
you
rain.
see why we want her on the show today, guys?
Absolutely,
This is why.
absolutely,
Michelle, this
and
is why.
excited about the energy. Monica, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what makes you click, and why you love your job so much?
All right. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm still growing up, which is wonderful. And I was born and raised in a small town of northern Michigan. And I've lived in Michigan, Ohio, and then in 2012, after the passing of one of my most beloved great grandmothers, I had a very powerful vision with a mission that would not go away. And I shed most of my material belongings and I moved to Big Sur, California in 2012, where I didn't know a soul. So a lot has happened since then. And my career or my life, I guess my career and my work, it's all interconnected. And I've been thinking a lot lately, how do I talk about, why environmental gerontology? What's going on here? And as you all might relate, you reach that crossroads kind of in our life, and all these different experiences, the good, bad, ugly, beautiful, and awesome throughout our lives. And then all of a sudden you have this aha, like, it all makes sense of why I'm doing this work in the way that I'm doing it right here, right now. That higher purpose, that ikigai, and putting it all these pieces together, and I think back on my own childhood. You work a lot with youth, and growing up and maybe not the healthiest environment with my immediate family and things like this. But I think about what two major large resources that I had that have forever impacted my health and well-being throughout my lifespan thus far. It's two powerful resources. I had three great grandmothers growing up who I was very, very close to.
Wow.
And I had very high level of nature connectedness. I grew up with a lot of, national forest around where I was living. I spent a lot of time alone in nature, but really not alone. And I think back, like, where I am now, and I go, wow, that it all makes sense now. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing what I've experienced. And now that the science is catching up to, of when we grow that connection to nature, to these environments like Dr. Mantell behind you, the bushes and the tree behind you, and really connect on that emotional level. It's profound.
Monica, I'll say it again. There's something about your energy that just is like, wow, it's magnetic. Thank you so much.
Oh,
A couple of things. You use the word ikigai, or however we pronounce it.
yeah.
And I want to come back to that. But first, let's go back to the headline, and that is eco-gerontologist.
Yeah.
Define an eco-gerontologist for us.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So gerontology is the studying of our aging process, the biological, psychological, environmental. And a lot of people say, well, gerontologist, so you work just with older adults. Well, aging is living. So from the moment we take our first breath, we're living and we're aging. So I always am very clear, all ages, longevity throughout the lifespan. And my focus of gerontology and what positive impacts for what harmonious longevity is eco-gerontology. It's a branch of environmental gerontology. And eco comes from the ancient Greek word okios, which means home. So ecology, ecosystems. Eco is home. And often, in our lives as humans, we've changed a lot in the centuries. And a stat that sticks with me is one of those wow stats is for 99.9% of our time on planet Earth as humans, we were hunter-gatherers. Process that for a moment, right? for 99.9% of our time on Earth. And so our connection to nature was paramount for our everyday lives, in these environmental cycles. And now, fast forward to 2024, and the average American is spending 93+% of their time indoors, right? And so with my work, it's like getting us back to really experiencing and bringing awareness to, our connection to nature in the natural cycles, is that we really are nature. And it's a branch of gerontology and longevity and health and well-being that isn't getting the attention that really needs to be at this moment. The past 5 decades, we've lost 70% of plant and animal species to extinction. And researchers have connected that to our slow decline of connection to the natural environment.
So when you work with people, I'm going to come back to the ikigai later, but that's a very, very important concept that we use in working with people wholly. But when you work with people, we have about a minute left. How do people work with you? Tell us about that.
Sure. Different ways. One of my favorite ways is I like to just start engaging people outdoors in the spaces they currently have access to. And I use the 5 A's. We start with awareness, going outside, or even the view sheds from indoors, and start engaging, awakening our senses, always starting with the breath. The breath. 1 minute. Okay. Starting with the breath, becoming aware of our breath. And then slowly starting to awaken. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? And engaging in our surroundings in a way that most of us aren't even really paying attention to. That is where I always begin, even in presentations and educational workshops and communities that I go to visit. Let's go outdoors.
So even in the rain, JC and Michelle can look at the rain and be aware of the beauty of the rain.
Yes.
Or they can think, oh, it's raining.
Right.
It's the mind, isn't it?
And feel those raindrops on your face and how kind of awesome that is. We'll get to the science of awe a little bit later, and how wow, because imagine there are people among us that don't have access, that are stuck in like care homes, for example, that the carers don't value outdoors. So they're not even getting, that's one of my fears, if I had one, would be that I'm stuck and I can't get outside to feel the rain on my face, or the way the breeze, rustles your hair and, inspires you in this way that we often aren't even noticing. Yeah.
Let's come back to that. JC, it's all yours.
Yeah, we're going to take a station break. Having problems with YouTube, but we can pass to the viewers. They can also check it out on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, etc. It's just a link. Our Facebook is not Facebook, but YouTube.
YouTube.
And that's from headquarters. So I tell you, we're going to take a station break. But as you see, we already started this. Monica is fantastic already. Tell you what, you sit back. We'll go to whichever platform that you want us watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you.
Love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love Love me some me. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself, and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you short, tall, fat, big, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple. It doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are a leader.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. One that keeps us close when we're apart. Walking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of harmony.
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's your life. I tell you, the first is always getting to know. In the first segment, and Monica, I can tell you that you're fantastic already. That energy, the vibes that you have. I'm a bit disappointed, Doc, that we having problems on the networks and stuff because the world
I'm looking
need
at it.
the world need to hear this young lady right here.
It could be Mercury in retrograde. That's nature again. That's when the technology doesn't always do what we want. I think, or maybe the eclipse, right? The solar eclipse. We just, some of us got to witness the totality. Talk about an awesome moment. People got outdoors and really connected. This amazing awe of an eclipse, and I got to see the one in 2017, and wow, talk about an awe transformational, 3 minutes forever, right? And it's so wonderful to see so many people in the photos of, care homes and schools and everybody outside with their glasses, just eyeing at nature. Really wonderful.
So this is a nature. I tell you, I think that's a key to happiness, because if we blend in with nature, we accept nature, we accept all that it has to offer. I believe that's just like you're saying, that's kind of like a mind soothing process. So can you tell our viewers and listeners why it's so important to engage in nature, and also find that calmness that's going to give you balance?
Oh, absolutely. Once you start engaging, I often will ask people, how do you feel? Think for a moment how you feel. Like Dr. Mantell, how do you feel when you decided to sit outside today? How did you start feeling? Yeah, you're outside, the fresh air.
Oh, this was magnificent.
Yeah.
There is a sense of oneness. I think back to the creation of the world.
Yeah.
Remember what was created first and when did we come? And we are very healthy, respectful, appreciative, grateful to be here and to look at the colors and feel the light breeze. It is so energizing and enlivening and emotionally enriching. So, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Perfect, right? That kind of answers the question a little bit. It's just, how you think about when we are at the beach and then, with my work, once we start growing what researchers call nature connectedness, which is a measurable psychological construct from, a few decades of research now. We have some people, a lot, unfortunately, have lower levels of connectedness, more depression, anxiety, loneliness, feeling isolated in the world. And those they found with higher levels and nature connectedness is really an emotional attachment and feeling of connectedness to the natural environment, as though we are part of nature, which is very common in indigenous cultures and societies, and how we once lived when we were more dependent upon the environmental cycles and closer connected to our food and things. And people with these higher levels of nature connectedness have been found to be calmer, happier, have more joy and purpose for the greater good, though, not just, for my own life, but for helping my neighbors and my community and nurturing these landscapes, have less anxiety and less likely to feel loneliness and depression. I often think about like John Muir or Thoreau, some of these writers and poets and adventurers, in the 1800s, 1700s, they never reported feeling lonely, anxiety, depression, even though they were alone. From the human to human connection, it was that human to nature connection was so strong that when you get that, you realize, well, I'm not alone, I'm not isolated. And then you start noticing, you go outdoors, and I'm sure, Dr. Mantell, you might hear a few birds out there, and a lot
Rabbits,
of times,
yeah.
yeah, and rabbit, you saw a rabbit too. And what happens often when we have lower levels of connectedness, we're not noticing nature. We're
Right.
not noticing these surroundings. And you can access, I've lived in Cleveland, Ohio, I've lived in cities, and now I live in a very biodiverse area. And you can find nature everywhere, even the clouds. And it does begin with, growing that nature connectedness, that mindfulness practice of awareness, start noticing.
How,
And yeah.
Monica, how can we help in terms of raising the level of understanding of what urban planning can do to help create environments for healthier aging, increasing quality of life?
Yeah, absolutely. And it does all start with awareness and education as well. And unfortunately, that is something that I'm working on, co-creating aging-friendly communities for all of us, right? It's benefits all ages and future generations. And we have like the ARP domains of livability, for example. These are the things our communities need so that we can age in place, in the places of choice, and be, nurtured by our communities that we, where we really want to live. Transportation, healthcare support, these kinds of things. And then they have the built environment and the social environment. Yet they haven't added this natural environment, which is something I'm avidly working on, that's really this core environment that once we begin nurturing our natural environment in our spaces, growing local nutrient-rich soil for local food production, more trees, more biodiversity of plants in our neighborhoods, what they call nature-rich landscapes, developers that are building apartment or community complexes, they need this awareness of, we also need to add in these nature-rich spaces because it's paramount for our health and well-being. And one thing we learned from the COVID-19,
So I was asking you, so what about people who live in inner cities?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of grass and beautiful palm trees. There's building after building after building. Can they be taught where to find this nature connection? Or is there something that the city planners and whatnot can do to add to that environment?
Absolutely. And I like to not reinvent wheels. There are some really great templates that we have coming out of the UK and Scotland, called Creating Nature Connected Communities. And it is, they have, here's what we can start doing. Here's why it's important. And that's already happening here in the States. I'm from Michigan, and there's some really neat projects going on, for example, in Detroit, where you have an inner city and you might have a block that's just been nothing in concrete and cracks and things. Now it's a small food farm, right? And so you've got these neighbors and community. It's feeding people. And it's also what I love about nurturing these spaces is it creates what I call reciprocal shared care. So when we're caring for these spaces and these environments, our health and well-being skyrockets because we're not only getting that nutrient-rich food and connecting with our neighbors maybe that we don't know, but we're getting all those juicy benefits of caring for the very ecosystems that sustain us. So it is, how do we get these urban developers and the planners? It is through education and inspiring a better way forward, and utilizing what other case studies have done. There's the rooftop gardens happening in Oakland, which a few weeks ago I was reading they harvested 400 tons of food on
Amazing.
a quarter of an acre of a rooftop.
So were they getting? So you refer to vitamin N.
Yeah.
Vitamin N.
Yeah.
Tell us about how we can. What is vitamin N?
Yeah,
How do
Richard Louv coined the term vitamin N, and is nature, right? So I like to keep things simple, smarty, and vitamin N. I used to say take 10 for vitamin N, but then as the more the research coming in, it's not the minutes, it's the moments that we're engaging outdoors. It's just, even if you have 2 to 3 minutes, you can have a profound boost in your health and well-being. You just go outdoors where you are now, begin with your breath. Start noticing things you normally wouldn't even notice. Like this morning, I was noticing these tulips that just sprouted up. And I thought, well, isn't that just beautiful? Then a hummingbird came, and I'm coming to my breath. And then you go back into your work or whatever you're doing, and you have a little more energy. You feel a little more connected. You're connected to the wider world around you, which is profound, simple too.
Amazing. So it takes us.
Yeah.
Who are walking through nature to notice, to be, it's one of your A's, to be aware. Because there are people who can come and look at this and just ignore it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it does take that ability, the space between the stimulus and the response. Bump, ba bump, bump. Bump, bump. That space is where we can notice the beautiful shrubbery or that leaf that's hanging by itself. And what does that mean? But it takes a mind. I like to say the Wi-Fi mind. In other words, we see connections that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about, is it nature that draws us, but also we have to draw ourselves to nature?
Yeah. It's a reciprocal, and it is, like you said, it's an awareness, and I guess awareness also is mindfulness, right? Of really being mindful when and they found that mindfulness in nature grows nature connectedness. So when you're outside, it's like awareness, then all of a sudden you start feeling some awe, like that bunny that you saw earlier. I saw you kind of pop up and go, wow, look at that. You had this like boost of sensation of boundless wonderment, this little bunny, right? And that awareness, awe, and all of a sudden you start feeling this awe, and your brain goes, wow, that feels good, that happy brain chemical flow. I want more of that. And I do guided awe walks, and that's what we do. We awaken our awareness. I have a bell, and people start engaging, and we start sharing these experiences, and then I can see people walk a little differently, and they're smiling more, and once you start feeling it, it can be cultivated. You will naturally start noticing more. You will naturally start seeking out more, right where you are right now, wherever you are.
And that's what that awe is. AWE. Always with energy.
Oh, I love that.
Always with, use it, please. Always with energy. If you really have awe, it does lift you. And if you notice that, you've grown. It's amazing. It's amazing. So how can health professionals use the vitamin N prescription working with patients?
Yeah, absolutely. There's I like to keep things simple, smarty. Again, I think sometimes there's a resistance because people might feel like, well, I'm not a gardener. I don't know horticulture. I don't, it is really as simple as, again, awakening awareness. Do you have windows in your office or wherever you're bringing people in? Really start honing in on that and enjoy a few moments to say, oh, wow, do you see that bird over there? And your patient like, oh,
Right.
wow. And then all of a sudden they're getting that dose of happy brain chemical flow. They're feeling more comfortable, they're calmer, and the body responds therapeutically. And I am on a mission right now. I have my second course launching in a few weeks of in-person and hybrid learning educational sessions with health cares. I use the word care intentionally
Right.
because once they start experiencing it, that's the art of care outdoors. Then the art of care outdoors comes in, and then the sky's the limit, right? Of what you can do to really engage and care with nature. I like that caring with. We're not just caring for. It opens up like Joan Tronto's Ethics of Care. Right in the center of a care experience is reciprocity, and that prevents burnout. All of a sudden, hey, let's go outside for 5 minutes because I might be a physician, a doctor, and physical therapist, but I'm going to benefit too because I'm going to get that happy brain chemical flow, a little feeling of awe, and we're both going to feel better.
Wow, this is amazing conversation, and I'm just sitting back just listening to you all right now. And it's amazing. I know our viewers, wherever you're watching us at, whichever platform, all you have to do is go to the platform. Ask Monica, Dr. Mike, or myself any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful soul drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if you jump on a trampoline and touch the sky? Grab a cloud as it passes by. You might fall. You
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I'm just in love with that song. My great friend Amy Woods.
Oh, I love it too. And the
Do
video.
you notice? Do you notice that I was trying to count the number of scenes and I lost track, but all the positivity, everything was outside. Did you notice that?
I did,
And
absolutely.
all the negative was like sitting inside alone. Everything else was
So
outside.
true.
And
Right.
and the other thing that really blew me away, JC, the kids playing in the rain,
Uh-huh.
and you got rain, and they were outside playing it, enjoying it,
puddles.
loving it, right?
You know, most importantly, the trampoline and the tree and everything
Oh,
staying together.
unbelievable.
But it's
Yeah,
outdoors. All of the scenes are
everything.
outdoors,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking about,
some
I call it therapy, nature.
it
And
is.
I tell you, Monica is breaking it down, and she just giving all of us an education in a lot of things, especially when it comes to our kids now, our kids, young adults, etc. So Amy, I got a question for you. How are we empowering our children with devices instead of playing outside? How, how come people just to give them devices, give them cell phones, you put them in front of television, Nintendo games, when they can learn and enjoy so much if they are involved in nature? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And when I think about the kids, like you just mentioned, the parents, how are they able to do this? And, we found that some of the younger generations with young children right now today had spent less time themselves in nature growing up. For example, my work with older adults, people 50 years old and up, many of us, you think about your own childhoods and how much time of growing up did you spend outdoors, right? And many of us say, wow, I was always outside and da da da. But then as the generation started going more indoors and technology increased, so the parents today, they also were raised really engaging and connecting with nature as other previous generations. So it's also an awareness of how do we connect that goes back to those urban areas that we were talking about earlier of co-creating nature connected communities and bringing this awareness and offering opportunities to engage outdoors, because it's simply a lot of people just don't know how. It's so simple and profound. I can go, wow, we just go outside, let's just go out together, have a picnic. But a lot of people, since we're habitual as humans, we're just, it's so habit forming now, and these digital devices are very addictive. I was reading a study that came out a few years ago, the Children in Nature Network. That's a great resource. Weekly, they have research on what's happening with kids and the technology, and what Richard Louv coins the term nature deficit disorder. They found that kids actually are having a diminished use of their senses, more attention difficulties, more obesity, more diabetes, and all of this is connected, because when you are outside, what we call green exercise, you are moving more, you're more physically active, you're breathing fresh air, you're engaging your senses, what you smell, what you see, touching. But when we're indoors on our devices, we're not getting those, we're not using our senses that way.
I grew up being told, go outside and play. And you
Yeah.
know the story, JC. When you come back, when the street lights go on, right? Okay, so you're outside the whole time. It didn't matter
Yeah.
sitting on the stoop, throwing the ball. It
Yeah.
didn't matter. We were outside.
Yeah.
That's the key. Now,
Yeah.
we tend to blame socioeconomic factors, and that maybe blame is not the right. Maybe we hold socioeconomic factors responsible. Well, because this neighborhood doesn't have the beautiful green and all that, therefore I can't get vitamin N. I want to ask you about this because are we selling a wrong idea that you have to live in lush, beautiful surroundings? You have to live at the beach? Who can afford that today? No. So, what can we tell people who don't have access to the beautiful greenery and the lush mountains and Big Sur and Temecula and La Jolla, California? What can we tell people about how to enjoy outdoors when you don't have all this?
Yeah, what's interesting about that is some research that came out, within the last year or two, found that people with lower socioeconomic status and living in more areas that have less lush and things actually have often higher levels of nature connectedness. They actually are engaging more than some of the kids that are outdoors in these lush parks and things, because you can be outdoors and nature's still kind of this backdrop. You're not, again, it begins with that awareness. You're not really connecting with it. You're not making mud pies. You're not, playing with the hose and what us Po kids did, you know what I mean? And that's how I grew up,
Right.
building forts and things. And they found that some of the wealthier, affluent children, even in these more nature-rich environments, have low levels because they're playing like competition sports, and it's all about, they're kind of it's this backdrop. So that is something that I will share. And it is a reminder that we do need to, over 100 million Americans do live in very low biodiverse areas. And this is detrimental with climate change. We really need to nurture and grow these spaces and make it a health priority, make it part of our aging friendly community plan, make it part of our school, the green schoolyard movement's happening, and like what's happening in Detroit, and it's amazing because it doesn't take money, like you said. And often that can be a hindrance, that can be a barrier because
Right.
you've got these sports and then you're on the go, you got your digital over here. But if you don't have all that, hey, we got to just play, guys. We just got to play. Oh, did you see that cloud? Remember
Right.
laying on the grass looking at the clouds?
Right. So
that?
you talked earlier about the 5 A's of sharing care outdoors.
Yeah.
Let's go back into those 5 A's. Can you list those 5 A's for
Yeah.
us?
Awareness, awe, appreciation activates action. Yeah.
Awareness.
So we just go outdoors or from looking at the window from inside, enjoy your breath, come to your breath, follow, you're coming to the here and now, and just awaken. What do you see? What do you smell? Like really that environment where you even are, just step outdoors and get right here now. And then it won't
You
be
also
long.
you said something else. You said you can sit indoors
Yeah.
and look out the window. And I remember when I was a kid and
Yeah.
it would rain, I would sit in the window and stare out the window.
Yeah.
And I was like amazed by that.
Yeah.
So we don't have to be in the rain
No.
to appreciate vitamin N of the
Right.
rain.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
comes after awareness?
Yeah. And awareness, right? Then enjoy 10 for vitamin N could be right from your office or where you are, and just take a few moments to notice. And you might go, wow, I could see this cloud up here, or maybe a little bird or something. And the raindrops, how the reflection on the windows, that's kind of cool with the rain. The sky's the
Right.
limit. So it does begin with awareness and mindfulness, and really intentionally going out or go from the indoors out and really engaging with your spaces, with your breath. And then it won't be long that there will be an awe moment, and like an awe moment, which is wonderful for that purpose in Ikigai and lowering our stress, because the world around us is extraordinary.
Better define that Ikigai again. Let's define that real quickly.
Purpose, meaning what the Japanese call, this purpose, not just for our own lives, but really it's often for the greater good, a purpose for, promoting goodness for current and future generations, not just our families, but those, communities in which we live, which are very common in people that live in what has been coined the blue zones. That is one of the common features, is people live with these high levels of purpose and, contribution and value and inspiring their neighborhoods and doing co-creating nature-rich areas for all of us, and nature too is part of our life. It's what we do. And then you do get all those benefits, right?
Okay, so after awe, we have awareness, then we have awe, and then we have
appreciation, gratitude. Once we start feeling that awe, then all of a sudden this love and deep gratitude, that's when the oxytocin kicks in. That's when all of a sudden you feel like you are connected to, I like to think nature constantly reminds us who we really are. And when you have this experience with the bunny rabbit that you saw, or you're noticing, these bushes behind you and hearing the birds, and you feel that awe, all of a sudden this gratitude comes over you. You're like, wow. And this deep gratitude, this love, the connection, and that activates connection and care. All of a sudden the science has shown too, the more we experience this, the more pro-nature we become, the more we realize that we really are nature. And how wonderful is that? We have this amazing this shared experiences of our home that often goes unnoticed, right? And so that activates action. Then all of a sudden we start building food gardens in our neighborhood, and we start telling them, hey, let's go and have a picnic at the park, or the stars, there's going to be a meteor shower tonight. Let's lay on the grass at midnight. Let's get up and just do it. And then that's become cyclic, right? And that's what I call the 5 A's. Yeah.
Great. Michelle, hi.
Hi, how are you? Monica, great show. Right now, we have to take a commercial break, and we will be right back with the show.
Oh, thanks so much.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. And one that keeps us close when we're apart. Talking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I'm just sitting back, soaking all of this in. We don't have the pleasure, like Dr. Michael Mantell, to be outside where it's sunny, fresh air, and all of that. Uh, but we do have Monica here, who's educating us on a lot of things, kind of like urban, you know, nature, nature thing, therapy, mindset of creating an environment where you can truly focus on being the best you that you can be. And so, Monica, I really want to appreciate you doing this. And also, we only got about 7 minutes left in the show. I want to make sure that you get this from me that we're going to invite you back real
Oh,
soon.
Ah,
wow. I've got so much. Yay.
it's going to happen.
Okay.
I want
Yay.
to invite you back, and so you can continue to share the knowledge that you are providing for our viewers and our listeners. And plus, when we get you back here, we won't be having all these technical difficulties that
Right.
we're having now. But I just want to turn it back over to Dr. Mike, and I'm just going to listen in for the rest of the show.
So I'm curious. With so many things in healthcare, we have prescriptions, how much time we're supposed to exercise, how many steps we should be taking. And, if I tend to be a big skeptic about a lot of SIGH dash ENCE, science, but that's besides the point. But is there a certain prescription of how much time we need outdoors for the best dose of vitamin N?
Some theorists believe, it's like the 120 minutes a week sweet spot, blah, blah, blah. I'm
Really?
not
Okay.
really in the minutes camp because I'm in the nature connectedness camp. That
Right.
the more that we research and study this how important that connection is. It's not just going outdoors. It's not just going to the park. It's really activating your awareness and you're really immersed in it, right? And mindfully, that's why forest bathing so powerful. It's not just go 120 minutes and I've got my timer and then I'm back in the office. Yeah, you're going to get fresh air and you might, you're going to get all these, some vitamin D and things, but you're not going to get the full effect of nature as our care ally unless you really actively start intentionally noticing, becoming aware, and then even becoming aware of how you feel. How do I feel when I'm sitting outside and I just noticed this bunny rabbit, maybe journal it or something and go back. And so I would say, try to get as many moments, meaningful moments of engaging outdoors and in these spaces as you can. And the more you do, it'll just become so natural that it's no longer, it's like, oh, I've been inside, I got to go out. Like you're already going to know, it's like, I can't even walk through the grocery store parking lot without eyeing at some of the trees before I go in,
I was just going to say, some people like to park as close to the grocery store as possible. Others say, I'm going to park far away so I can walk and look at the
Yeah.
beautiful sky and
Yeah.
so forth, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it's the mindset. It starts
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if we don't capture that and begin to educate people, don't just walk,
Right.
appreciate.
Yes. Yeah. Notice, breathe deep. I see often these really great, beautiful outdoor spaces, but no one's in them. Just start going outside and it's simple. Keep it simple, Smarty, right? Just become aware of your breath
I love that
and
phrase.
start noticing. Yeah. And then it all falls into place. And next thing you know, you feel so good and a little more energized, that happy brain chemical flow. And I want more of this. I'm going to share this, and it's just little eco-conscious baby steps, and the meaningful moments, not the minutes.
Things have changed. We only have 2 minutes left, but I remember many, 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 many years ago in San Diego, a therapist took his patient out for a walk in the park next to the hospital. And he thought this was brilliant.
Yeah.
He lost his license.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Now, today, I talked to a cardiologist. I said, you're encouraging people to exercise. Why don't you go for a walk with your patient? And there are groups of physicians who do that. They
Yeah.
go for walks with their patients.
Yes.
You're aware of that, right?
Yes, and that's more of that, please. And then it's that reciprocity again. We're sharing care together. The doctor, the patient, it's no difference. We're both sharing this amazing nature is our care ally, and we're all going to feel better. Yeah,
Yeah. So
wonderful.
if there's a takeaway in 1 minute, what do you have as a takeaway for the story of eco gerontology, vitamin N, and all the wonderful things you've been talking about?
Yeah, my takeaway is, for anybody that's watching, listening, and just right now, wherever you are, just start noticing. I call it the environmental scan. In your house, well, wow, I got this window over here, but there might be a tree and there's nothing facing that. Like maybe get this awareness of maybe start really engaging in and becoming aware of these spaces that you have access to every day, from the indoors, outdoors. And like you said, it doesn't have to be, could be a little tiny patio or a balcony. And then, okay, how can I start really engaging a little bit more, getting some of these meaningful moments, right? Whether it's seeing the clouds or what others around you, and how to share it, hey, I see you're eating your lunch at your desk. You want to come out here? It's really nice, and sit at the picnic table, right? These kinds of things, and really inspire each other. And that's like amazing when you start sharing the care outdoors. And then, this
Great
juicy.
takeaway.
Great, yeah,
Great
that's
takeaway.
absolutely a fantastic takeaway. And again, Monica, just like I said, we got to have you back on real soon.
Oh, that'd be
Can you tell my
wonderful.
viewers real quickly how they can get in touch with you, follow you, and list the service? And same for you, Dr. Mike. So we start off with you real quickly, Monica. We got 30 seconds or less.
Sure. MonicaEastway.com.
What about you, Dr.
Dr.
Mike?
Dr. Dr. Mantell, Mantell at me.com. Go ahead and send it over. Follow both of us on LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere else in the world.
Well, I want to thank you, Monica, Dr. Mike, always, every Wednesday. I look forward to this, for taking the time to come on the show
Oh,
and
thank you
sharing
so
your
much.
knowledge and understanding with our viewers and our listeners.
Yay.
I like
Thank
to
you
thank
so
I
much.
like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and also on radio, which is prime time, on Sundays at 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on KCBQ, AM 1170 Answer, FM 96.1, and many, many other stations. I want always to let you know that the key to success is to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do, and put some action in it. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Yes, your life, and we'll see you then.